This is the Oil Stream live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube Live from the Popeyes, Louisiana kitchen studio in the West End. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Zach to come behind the camera, making sure that everything is running smoothly. Trev having a great time in the room next to us, just watching us. I bet he's laughing right now a little bit, just giggling like he usually does.
He's giggling a lot.
Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen boneless wings have landed. Juicy, tender, hand-battered, and fried to crispy perfection. Available in classic and 4 mouth-watering flavors. I'm also on their website right now. They have new strawberry biscuits. I love their biscuits, and they got strawberry biscuits.
Did you just do a voice?
Biscuits. I love biscuits.
Okay.
Strawberry biscuits, too. I need to go try this.
Okay.
I can't wait. Maybe that's
what
my
the hell's
candidate
going on
weekend.
around here
That's
today?
a good candidate.
Everyone's
weekend.
in good spirits. I love it.
I got a
It's
lot
so
of work
good.
to do this afternoon, so this is going to just drag me towards all that work.
It's all good. I feel like I need a beveragino, but I don't want a beveragino. Trev, can you make yourself useful? Give me some 2 hoots, please. All right. May as well.
Yeah, can't say what he said.
I'll survive one.
How are you?
Me, I'm good.
It's been all hat with you this
Yes.
week.
There's a reason why. I missed my haircut with Chantal.
What do you mean you missed
on
it?
Wednesday. I didn't know. Well, it was like the end of season availabilities.
Yeah. But like you didn't show up.
I just missed. I flat out missed it, even though I had a
you're an
notification
ass.
on my phone. And it's been a long playoffs. Cheers, salute everybody. Happy long weekend, happy Canada Day, all that good stuff. It's been a long week.
Well, you still couldn't do your hair. Your hair's fine.
I was just tired, and I wanted to give some love to Coolbet. I like these hats that they gave us a while ago. I haven't. These are the first times I'm wearing them. I wore the white one yesterday, and then I don't know. I'm just tired, man. Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
it was a long season, a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody who joined us on the Oil Stream pre and post game show. Thank you to GCL Diesel, Hudson's, Remax Elite with Damon Bunting, as well as Christopher Boyle. Like a fantastic first year here at EST. Just tired and ready for a breather. So I got up and I'm like,
Go get a strawberry biscuit.
Yeah, I'll get
Treat
one
yourself.
of those.
Treat yourself.
We'll get one of those. But there's so much to talk to. Like, we're going to go out with a good show into the weekend. And then tomorrow, Belzy and I will have a Hello Hockey for you. And it'll be a draft-heavy one, obviously. There's so much going on around the draft. And I have a group chat with Dennis Bernstein, Dave Pagnotta, and all the crap that's going on at the draft. I feel, A, a little bit of FOMO, and B, also glad I'm not there because it's busy.
Wow, there's been a lot of activity happening
Yeah.
leading up to this week. That it happens occasionally. I remember the one year Jeff Carter and Mike Richards got traded the same draft week. Like it was like the day or two before the draft.
Yeah.
That's maybe one of the last times I kind of recall where there was a lot of action leading into a draft, which maybe that's a sign of things to come for tonight. That like Guy Flame was on the Hangout today, and he talks about how after the first pick, Celebrini goes to the Sharks. It could go so many different ways between 2 and 13, 14, 15.
Yes.
Different teams will have different players in their rankings. It's not one of those years where most people like consensus for the majority of it. And with that, maybe that's going to lead to some trade and some activity, and that's what makes the draft fun to me. I'm happy for the kids. I'm happy they get drafted and a dream comes true. That is awesome. And hockey having that moment, they've done it better than most leagues for the longest time of having those players come up to the stage. It used to be the NFL, there's only 5 players that got that moment. Now that's expanded. But it's always fun to see that and the family and all how emotional it is. But from an entertainment perspective, I love when you hear a trade is in. Gary Bettman goes says something. We have a trade to announce. There's just nothing like, and then especially when it's not just picks for picks, right? When there's Corey Schneider getting traded to the Devils that one year.
I remember.
And you're sitting there and you're like, oh, look, and then you're trying to figure out how that all works. I love that type of stuff. And maybe today, with what we've seen this week, there's some conversation, there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of chatter that leads to some trades tonight.
I remember the 95 draft here in Edmonton at the old Coliseum, and they announced, I think it was the Alexander Mogilny trade. And I think that was like, that was cool. And then there was another big deal. I feel like the Avs were somehow involved at that draft. But I remember that. That's exciting. It is cool. The first round is a unique spectacle, and it always has been, always will be, I think. Even when this is the last year where they have all the teams in the pit, kind of, so to speak, at the tables. after this year it changes, and it's kind of nice that they're doing it at the Sphere. And you talked about it on the Hangout today that's going to be the first official sporting event from any major league sport in there. I know there's a UFC event going in there as well, but
it's after.
It's after, and the first round, even when I was covering for Oilers TV, the first round was always fun. It's just craziness, and obviously that was during the decade of darkness, so we were very busy on those days. It is special. It is unique. It's fun. I think tonight will be the same, and tomorrow, tomorrow's the guts of it all. So yeah.
Yeah, the decentralization, I know there's a lot of people upset about it. I actually like it. What we lose is watching the teams talk to other teams.
But if you're not there,
the cameras sometimes will show it, and then you get excited. And I'm assuming you've been to a lot more. 75% of the time, they're just chatting. It's not actually about anything.
What are you doing for dinner tonight?
But it's great when it's you just oh my. The Avs and the Lightning are talking. What could they be talking about? Mm-hmm. What's going on here? And you just get really excited. You're going to lose that because you see which team. And now you're going to go to that NFL model where you see teams pick up the phone, but you don't know who's picking up the phone.
I hope we get that type of
the war room
live
cameras.
Look in.
You have to.
We have to.
You have to. If you're the NHL and you don't have war room cameras from all 32 teams, you're failing miserably next year. You have to do that. The other thing, because I look at with the NFL with all of this is, they have the draft on the Thursday with the first round pick gets taken. The next day, there's an event in the city. The media of that city speaks to that player, and maybe you could do some sort of event. Maybe if you're the Oilers and you draft next year 32nd overall, you draft the player. Well, maybe they don't even have a pick next year, but let's pretend they do.
They have to because they might get the draft next year. It sounds like it's down to Edmonton and Detroit. That comes from Dave Pagnotta.
Well, what I would say, the worst part of it, they can't have a pick next year. That needs to go out. That needs to go. What's more important, having a pick for the draft or winning a Stanley Cup?
Winning a Stanley Cup,
exactly. So you can. But let's hope that they have.
I love
a pick.
your aggressive style.
But it's not in Edmonton. You have that pick. You go make it. The next day, you have a little watch party for 2nd through 7 or whatever. But you bring the first overall pick or something.
That's cool.
You could do something locally. That's for your fans, and it's not just all in one location.
That's true.
And for the players, they could still have their draft moment. They could still be at the Sphere. You just don't have all the teams there.
What's cool with the NFL and how it does? You saw in Detroit this past season. What did they have? 250,000 people downtown?
It was 400.
It was that many.
It was insane. Detroit had a ridiculous amount of people showing.
They've turned the stage into this big thing, and there's people up front. It's a huge party.
Oh, 275.
Yeah, and
had 550 throughout the first couple of days.
That's amazing.
Oh, and now there's another article I'm reading. For the weekend, 775,000 fans.
That's amazing. That's what K-Days gets through 10 days.
I don't think it gets that. I think it's 2.
Is it? No. Remember, it used to climb close to 1 million, and then Stampede gets 1 million.
Yeah, but K-Days is kind of Stampede. Okay, 557,000 people attended.
And that's dwindling.
It was 760 in 2022.
Yeah, I told you.
Wow. I did not know that.
I have this obscure fascination with event totals when it comes to patrons. I don't know. Anyway, but the way the NHL draft ultimately is evolving is kind of neat. And it would be cool for fans to be up close to the stage and see these guys. The tables with the staffs and stuff. That's neat, but I feel like it's not that sexy and exciting. Oh, look, there's so-and-so. Great. Neat. Whatever. Oh, look, there's their analytics guru. He's a dork. Great. Hey, look, there's so-and-so.
Take that
They're
shot.
Cool. They usually are. They're great with numbers. They're awkward people, most of them. Some of them are great. Not all. There's also dorks who are GM scouts. A lot of them are cool, too. All kinds.
Jumping into Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 as well as the nasty chat. I do want to get to something to you a little bit later that Rashog had. But first, I wonder if we'll get more trades with all the GMs in their own spots, not worried about people listening over their shoulders, potentially. No? You don't think so?
I don't think so. That's a good thought, though. It's a good curiosity. No, those being around and all the media types walking the floor and stuff like that doesn't affect them.
Mo, good day, boys. Based on Jackson's comments yesterday, is it safe to assume their priority is trading Campbell rather than a buyout?
Yes, and I've told Mo that in person. He did Jackson did acknowledge that, the possibility of a buyout has been considered. But yes, the goal would be to offload him a la Cal Peterson, LA Kings to Philadelphia Flyers.
You would have to think that they believe that there's a market for this.
They have to create one. If there isn't one, I
well,
know
but
it's
if
not
there
a
isn't
sexy or
one,
appealing thing, but they have
don't
to find
you have
a way.
to then do the buyout? Like that's the
Yeah,
thing. I don't think you could get and there is that second buyout window that opens up, but I think that is involved with usually arbitration.
I'd have to look at it. But
NHL
yes, the
second
intention
buyout.
is to not retain dead cap space. And I think that's what they want to do.
So
You can ship off bad contracts, as we know and as we've discussed. I think that is and from what I've been told, that is the goal, is to do that. But I mean, that's a crappy contract.
this is from Puckpedia. Buyouts can start on the latter of June 15th or 48 hours after the playoffs end, and the buyout period ends June 30th at 5 Eastern. So that will be on Sunday at 5 Eastern, 3 Mountain. Teams may receive an additional buyout window. If a team has a player go to arbitration and either settles or awarded, the team receives a new 48-hour buyout window beginning 3 days after the settlement or award. The only contracts that are eligible to be bought out in this window are players with cap hits greater than $4 million, and they were on the team's roster at the last trade deadline.
He was not on the roster.
So yeah, he wouldn't. Does that not count that he's on the roster?
By that language, I would assume he would.
He
be eligible
had to be
for
on the
second
NHL
buyout
roster.
window.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he couldn't even do the second buyout window. But that, I just feel like they would have to know that there's at least some interest there, because I don't think you can risk trying to create your own when right now you could just get clear of it.
There might be a team out there that's in the dumps right now, a la San Jose, that might be saying, we will take your problem contract. We figure our window isn't going to open for another 3-4 years as that contract expires, and then you juice it up by giving us a second rounder. This is just an example, hypothetical.
It's the way I like going about it. I hate buyouts. I've always hated buyouts.
They're not good.
Because especially when you could trade with cap retention. I'd rather eat cap for a couple of years and then be clear of it than have that cap and then having it go longer than you need it.
Yeah.
That's the thing I can't stand. The others are getting out of it finally. They're getting out of that situation where they don't have that money on the books.
It's been almost a decade that they've had dead cap space on the books.
Is there anything moving into next year as of right now?
They have James Neal still.
James Neal for one more year at 1.9. And then you're clear. You're gone. You're through. All the cap is yours now. Yeah, Connor Brown.
But he might be back next year.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
And in the end, it kind of, I could somewhat now live with it a little bit more.
Well, you called it a penalty.
It was a penalty, but
it's still kind of.
He produced in the playoffs. In the end, he produced in the playoffs.
Was he better than Pekka 2006? I elevated him.
I was a huge Pekka fan.
Pekka was great in the playoffs in 2006.
He stepped up and
he was great.
For $3 million, I still don't like the 3, but
neither do I.
I didn't like how that penalty was, but he ultimately did something in the playoffs that helped his team, and I could live with it a teensy tiny bit more. Than I was 4 months ago.
Perception kind of shifted a bit.
Yeah.
Didn't it? And I understand. I'm one of those that's like, oh, it wasn't so bad. It was still bad, but not so bad. Anyway, him and Janmark were formidable. I could see there being an appetite to keep them around and at a reasonable price. It's going to be interesting to see how this team evolves here.
Hampton Steve asking, could you sweeten the deal with some bottom feeder team like San Jose, Chicago to take Campbell by including McLeod and a second-round pick?
The answer is yes. Now,
would you trade away? Would you trade away a Ryan McLeod right now?
Probably not, and that goes against the grain because I think a lot of people would, given the
last
disappointment
year,
of his playoffs.
I was really good. Yep. And a lot of people were like, you got to extend this guy. Yep. This year did not produce in the playoffs. Let's be real.
It was a total pendulum swing on the
and now it's immediately get rid of him. And I don't mind seeing what he could do in another year. I don't know which one he is. What if he gets back to being that player from 2 years ago?
What if he starts playing a little bit more rough and tumble? I don't think it's in his nature, but what if? Yeah, you could do that, Hampton Steve. Absolutely. Maybe it's up to the new GM to decide which route he wants to go, but I think Ryan McLeod, who they've drafted, developed, invested in, has become a serviceable bottom six player. I will remind people he was injured. He missed basically most of training camp, was behind the 8 ball, had the contract negotiations that took some time. He's been a good soldier. No, he did not have a particularly good playoffs. Absolutely. His regular season was okay. He could bounce back with a stronger season next year. So I don't think that they would want to do that right now, but they could. So, yeah, like in a hypothetical situation to Hampton, Steve, and his text, yeah, they could absolutely do that.
Want to get to this. Ryan Rashog, he had this 20 hours ago. I was busy with Elk stuff. Connor McDavid will not require any off-season surgery and will be ready for the start of training camp. I know it's been out there a little bit that maybe he would need surgery. Your take on that?
That's good news that he's not getting surgery and doesn't require it and will be ready for the start of training camp. We did say, and I'll say it, we said he might need it. We knew he was banged up. Dave Pagnotta and I were talking about it on Hello Hockey. I talked about it on Oil Stream and the Hangout. And so didn't say he needed it for sure. Said he might need surgery. He is banged up. So let's start with that. That's good news. Now, reaching out and talking to people within the organization after Shoggy put that out there, they were surprised that he is not getting surgery. So take that for what it's worth. And I did not say definitively he needs it. I said he might. So let's reiterate that. A couple people taking swipes at me. I didn't say he needed it. I said he might. So there you go. And people within the organization are surprised he's not getting it. That's it. And that's good news.
Well, I'll just say, whatever is the best course of action to get him healthy, that's the good news.
As long as he's
the
ready,
key
he's
word
100%.
is
That's
ready
all
to go
matters.
for training camp.
Yeah.
That's the good news to me. That's the thing. Okay, cool.
I'm
Look,
happy to hear he doesn't need surgery.
You never want anyone to go under the knife. There's always
No.
risks under it. But if that's the way that we get him back healthiest,
Great.
and we heard that's the news, awesome.
Yeah.
As long as it's ready for training camp, you take it. And it's. But we knew there was something going on with him ever since he did miss the couple games before the playoffs, and it's not like he magically got healthy. He went into those playoffs banged up, and we saw earlier this week hearing the news and confirmed. Well, Evander Kane confirmed at the start of the year, or at the start of the playoffs, but Chris Knobloch confirming his injury with pubic myalgia,
Athletic pubalgia.
or whatever. I don't know. And then Leon Draisaitl with his issues. So
Yes.
They just got to stay healthy next year and see what as healthy as they can that what they get. But there you go.
Ultimately,
McDavid not needing surgery.
That's good news.
But as Tommy just said, they're the Oilers organization themselves. Some people within it a little surprised that that's the course of action that is going to be taken that way. $100,000 hole-in-one qualifying opportunity for Golf Town. That's coming up here on the Oil Stream in a bit. It's the 4th of 6. Last qualifying opportunities for contestant spot number 25. As Tuesday morning, we'll make the draw. That person will be the 25th contestant drawn. They will have the last chance potentially to swing for $100,000. Unless someone holds out, they'll have that last chance to win $100,000. And if they don't hold out, then what will happen is closest to the pin will win $1,000 thanks to the Ranch Golf and Country Club. So keep it locked as we will have that. And then the 5th last chance is on Hello Hockey tomorrow, and then the last chance will be on the VIP Golf Show on Sunday with Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock.
Beauty.
Getting closer to the Open Championship.
I know. Man, we're already through 2 of the 4 majors, right? We had the Masters and we had the PGA. So we've got the Open and...
The Open Championship. When does it get going here? July 18th to the 21st.
Yeah.
So close. It's so much fun to watch. I don't know. I just love when there's also that wind that comes in and it's torturous.
Yeah.
And the rain comes and
Yeah.
I just want to go golf out in Scotland and England.
I just want to go golf.
I haven't swung I generally wouldn't be able to. I haven't even done
I don't.
Yeah, but I haven't even gone to practice my wedge shots or anything like that. And I don't even know when I'm going to do it still.
I'm going to try this weekend. I'm going to try to do so many things this weekend.
Well, we got Canada, Chile.
Yep. I'll be at the baseball game on Sunday.
Someone's at the door. I'm a little concerned.
Uh-oh. Are you concerned about him? He's very animated
I know.
right now.
Oh, it's just a prize. We have a big shipment coming today. We're supposed to be. And I'm just waiting for that to come, and I thought that's what it is. But Trev, yeah, he's having fun. He's having a good Friday.
His weekend has begun.
His weekend has begun. What are you planning to do this weekend? You're going to Riverhawks on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll go tag up with everybody at Riverhawks. Maybe meet up with you guys for soccer tomorrow.
6 o'clock, baby.
I mean, if it's nice and close, then
I got to figure out where.
And then, some other things.
Place to always watch the games, potentially, in the sports bar of Boston Pizza.
Maybe today I'll sneak out somewhere. And
Portions of this hour brought to you by Boston Pizza. Great partners of Edmonton Sports Talk, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream. Actually, how was the BPs this week that you and Dusty did?
Very good.
What'd you eat?
Lynn. I had the buffalo mac and cheese. It was great. And a couple of beers.
I always love when you guys go to BPs and finding out what you eat. I don't know why. It's a fascination of mine. What did Dusty have?
Thai chicken bites?
He always has the Thai chicken bites. There's nothing wrong with Thai chicken bites. Don't take that the wrong way, anyone. But they have such a menu to eat so many different things. Why does he always limit himself to one thing? What's wrong with this guy?
Many things. Do we need to get into it?
Like, mix it up. Dusty. I remember him going to the Taste of Edmonton, him telling me and J-Mo that he was off to Taste of Edmonton. And he was like really excited that he was going to Taste of Edmonton. And we're like, what are you gonna try? And he's like, I'm gonna get the steak bites.
Delicious.
But he has the steak. That was at the time when he used to be a Canadian Brew host every Monday for Thursdays for Monday and Thursday, or Mondays for Monday Night Football. And he had it every week.
They have great steak.
And it was like, dude, that's not the point of Taste of Edmonton. It's not to try something that you and only eat the thing that you always eat.
Yep.
Go try different food, dude. That's the point of it. And then he went to Japanese Village, had the rice with the sauce, and he was blown away by it.
So good. Spread it out. Try something new. Meet the neighbors.
So yeah, next time you guys do the one, I want you to tell him he can't order Thai chicken bites. He's not allowed.
Okay.
He has to branch out to something else with BPs. They have too good of a menu to stick with just Thai chicken bites. Again, they're delicious. They're wonderful. But try some other things, dude.
Expand your horizon.
Yeah, Trev, sitting there. Expand your horizons.
I can't take him seriously right
Me neither.
What?
now.
You're having a good Friday, it looks like.
Yeah, he is having a great Friday.
This is the Oil Stream. Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Eden into the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Hey, boys, I think McLeod is a perfectly fine regular season bottom six player, but his refusal to play physically during the playoffs is concerning. I get that not everyone could produce in the playoffs, but if he's not scoring, what else is he doing? He's not a defensive stalwart, and he doesn't take critical faceoffs. He had a chance in game 6 or 7 to hit Bennett in a perfectly legal way and skated away.
Yep. I don't disagree with these points. I use the Jordan Eberle example where Jordan Eberle, after the postseason in 2017, not particularly great, obviously.
Nope.
And that was basically his ticket out of town, his lack of living up to the physical side of the game, not being the Jordan Eberle that we're used to seeing in the regular season, translate over to the postseason. Goes to the Islanders, and they make the conference final a couple of years in a row. He ends up in the playoffs, becomes a very clutch playoff performer. And, I know Ryan McLeod's had, I think, 4 postseasons now. His playoff numbers aren't particularly great. He's still a relatively young player. Maybe he can still adapt.
He's 24.
I don't know if you want to
just
just
start of the season.
move on from him after one iffy season where there are a lot of things working against him. And I agree, it's not in his nature to play physical, but I'd like to see him play physical, but I don't know if you just give up on a guy like that just because he had a bad postseason and a rough season.
It's surprising that it's been 4 playoffs, though.
You made the good point. I know, and he only has like 16 points and 50 some odd.
Yeah, I just had it up
Playoff
here.
games?
He has 12 points in 54 games, 6 goals, 6 assists. First year, 2021, which
He was fresh.
is that in the bubble? No,
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was
year.
the-
That's the All Canadian.
Yeah.
4 games, 0 points across the board. But he ended up being the second line center for Game 4, I think, against the Jets in that
That's
one.
pretty telling.
The next year in 16 games, 3 goals and an assist. Last year, 12 games, no goals, 5 assists, and then this year, 3 goals, no assists in 22 games.
Yeah. his playoff performances. Although,
But 24-25 to start next year.
yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't get rid of. I wouldn't have an impulse to get rid of him because of that.
But I guess based on that, it does make him as expendable if that's the reason that you can either bring in a player. Maybe that's the reason you could get rid of Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
If that's the
Yep,
thing that
and
helps you
that's
get
a
rid of Jack
possibility.
Campbell,
Yeah.
then it's also one like you kind of maybe have to bite that bullet because it has been 4 playoffs and it's not fully there.
And that's fine. Who do you replace him with then? And I get it. I'm not for or against moving on from him.
So what is
But
he
if-
though on this team? Is he the center or is he a winger? That where you're
I think
looking
he's
to
still
replace?
third line center. Because Henrique kind of slid in there in the playoffs. That worked out nice. It's unlikely Henrique comes back.
If you got rid of McLeod though and Jack Campbell, it does open up some money. Is that maybe open things up to keep Henrique?
Here's the other thing. Like, listen, Adam Henrique had a really strong season. He knew he was priming himself to probably get his last good contract in the NHL at 34 years of age, and then juice himself up in terms of being an asset to be moved out of Anaheim. So he took full advantage of that opportunity. Good on him. I don't know what Adam Henrique is for the next couple of years. Like, could you get him on a 2-year deal? The other thing, too, I've been told is that, like, the desire from Henrique's point of view isn't necessarily to stay in Edmonton. He from what I'm told, agreed to it, understanding that he's a rental and they're gunning for a Stanley Cup and he can be used as a weapon to try to get that cup. And they came oh so close. My assumption would also be that he and his plan is to go somewhere else, try to get a decent contract. Again, he's 34. And then if that doesn't work out, maybe he circles back to Edmonton. That's what happened with Evander Kane. Kane had a big ask a couple of summers ago. Edmonton said, we can't do that. He thought he could go get it somewhere else. Found out pretty quickly nobody was going to pay him $7 to $8 million. Circled back to Edmonton, and then the offer they had given him, I think they amended it. So they wanted to give him like a 3-year, 5.5 per or something like that. And then it ended up being 4 years, 5.25.
125.
5.
I'm just looking at it right now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at this team. Let's start with forwards because draft is tonight, but the Oilers don't have a pick today, so they'll be a little quiet today. I don't expect anything to happen. So that's tomorrow during. I'm assuming that would happen during Hello Hockey.
Penner's Pancakes, Campbell plus McLeod's second for cost. You silly. Are you into the 2 hoots right now, Penner's Pancakes? Like YouTube, Trev?
Round 2 starts tomorrow 9:30 Mountain Time. So you guys will have the Oiler pick during Hello Hockey at that point. Then they have 2 5ths, 2 6ths, 2 7ths, I believe it is, in the draft. So not a lot to do. So July 1 is the lead up to July 1 is the big thing.
Yep.
When you look at the RFAs and UFAs forward wise, let's just start there. Dylan Holloway, RFA, obviously you're re-signing him. He's penned into the lineup based on his playoff performance. You got Connor Brown, you got Sam Carrick, you got Warren Fogle, you got Sam Gagner, you got Adam Henrique, Matthias Janmark, and Corey Perry. Of those guys, who are players that the Oilers should be looking to try to lock up?
Out of the UFAs?
Yeah. So Brown, Carrick, Fogle. I'll take Sam Gagner out of this. Henrique, Janmark, and Perry.
I think at the top of the list would probably be Brown and Janmark. Just in terms of they're functional players and they have a use and they can be. What they did in the postseason is why you got guys like that. I don't think Perry's coming back. I don't think Henrique's coming back. Carrick is interesting. Sounds like there might be some appetite for that. Fogle, with his 20-plus goal season, maybe if there's a team out there that's willing to give him a nice, juicy contract and sees him as a top 6 guy, because I know he wants to be a top 6 guy somewhere in the NHL. If there's an opportunity for him to be that with the money that comes with it and the term, I think he would jump at that. I feel like it would probably price the Oilers out. You know what I mean? Because I don't think they necessarily see him as a top 6 guy. They generally have their top 6 kind of settled, obviously. So it's not sexy, but probably Brown and Janmark. Maybe some time for Carrick. And then, those other guys, I think Perry's gone. I think Henrique will walk and go somewhere else. Gagne, I think this might be it for him, unless he still wants to play. I don't know if there's much out there for him. There was somebody who texted in late in this playoffs, or somebody mentioned, they're like, is there a trade out there for Sam Gagne? No, there's no trade out there for Sam Gagne. I thought that was a bit silly. So anyway, it's just, yeah, like those guys were all serviceable, functional, but I think they're going to move on from a lot of them.
I can't find it. We had somebody either in the Nasty Chat or the Paris Jewelers inbox talking about the idea of Jeff Skinner. And is there maybe a way with Campbell even? Would Jeff Skinner intrigue you at all for the Oilers? Is that someone you'd be looking at bringing in?
Why not?
Jeff Skinner.
Maybe if the scenario was right. I don't think he's the type of player Edmonton covets. Smaller, skilled, comes and goes with his goal scoring. Something would have to.
He's got $9 million as a cap hit for the next 3 years.
So no,
like there would have to be like
but
the massive retention there. But it's also
he got bought out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
completely
why
missed that.
it's not.
Oh, sorry, that's my bad.
The cap hit thing's gone. He got bought out
Oh, when did that happen?
yesterday.
Oh, okay. I was prepping Elks.
You were busy, so
Then why is he still on cap friendly?
I think they have to like
Get him off.
formalize the buyout before.
Come on, cap
updates
friendly.
it.
Figured. It's stupid Capitals.
It's still like 7 days before that happens.
Yeah, but I'm blaming them that they're not keeping up to date for all of us. They're going to half-ass this for the next few days. What they're
Maybe.
doing is they have a staging cap friendly and the regular cap friendly. The staging one is the one that they're going to put everything into, but it's not going to go live, and we're going to get the crap still for the next few days.
Conspiracy theories.
Damn right.
I don't see Skinner as kind of a guy they would look to. It's intriguing. He's been a pretty good player for the most part in his career. I think a few things would have to happen where it would be something that they would have to look at, but I don't think it's something they would eye up right away. You know what I mean? I don't think it'd be an intention to go, we need Jeff Skinner. I don't think that's part of their MO right now.
Defensively, can this team move Cece?
Probably. I think so. Like he's just a meat and potatoes defenseman. And he's got 1 year left. 3.25 is it? I think you could find a trade there.
3.25, 1 year, 30-year-old defenseman.
Yeah. I think you could find somebody who would take that.
He doesn't have a no move, no
Yeah.
trade or anything like that, so you could just flip him wherever you want.
That one is doable.
So he goes, you got Nurse, you got Ekholm, you got Bouchard, you got Kulak, you re-signed Broberg, you re-signed Desharnais. You can't rule that as the defense next year. You got to improve it with something else, no?
How? What do you want? I know people
Somebody
want Tanev.
somebody with Darnell Nurse.
If they could find a way, I know there's been discussions. Dallas and Tanev are talking. I believe I saw. Yeah, Chris Tanev would be perfect, but I think there's 31 other teams that would also want Chris Tanev. Do I think it's realistic Edmonton gets him? Probably not. Would it be a great match? Yes, 100%. It almost seems like, and I hope I'm wrong, that it ends up being what we saw in the playoffs. And we'll see what happens with Desharnais, but I think Broberg has finally shown, good for him, that he's ready to be an everyday contributor. If they lose Desharnais, then do you keep Cece? Because he needs 7D, man.
If you lose Desharnais, you keep Cece. Well, the money I just doesn't think works then at that point. You can't come back with there's got to be some sort of change to this blue line. You can't come back with the same thing.
It can change in the season. We've learned this.
Yeah, but and 2 years ago it did. Matthias Ekholm came in, but then it didn't this year. They brought in Troy Stetcher as that depth guy. And you could find, to me, you could go find those guys. I just feel like there's got to be a way to maneuver and get that top four defenseman.
It's a big ask.
Maybe that all comes down to can you find a way to convince Evander Kane to waive?
That's something I'm curious about as well.
Although I did see one thing when it came to Evander Kane, because his no move becomes modified no trade on March 1, a 16-team trade list. So as the trade deadline comes, he is movable. I can't remember who I saw it on Twitter, brought up an interesting point where it's you go with Evander Kane to start the year. If it's not fully there, you can move him a little easier at the deadline. And if he's being Evander Kane that you want, naturally you're just keeping him. The only downside to that is if he's not the Evander Kane you really want, who would want him?
It's a great question.
But open up that 5.125. Does that open up the money to go get you that defenseman that you need?
Yeah, it does. I think they'd listen if there were any takers out there. I think they'd listen on Kane. But again, he has that. Was it 15 team or 10 team?
Kane?
Yeah.
It's going to be 16 as of March 1.
Okay. Yeah, I think they'd listen.
Brock in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Jeff Skinner making buyout makes way too much sense for the Oilers. This guy's made over $100 million in his career. Money is an issue for him, and the Sabres have a weird history of trading guys who go on to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, they do that quite a bit. That's where the money then for the buyout would kind of make sense, because what would he be making then? Obviously, try to maximize as much as you can, but you also know that the Buffalo Sabres are paying him for a bit, so maybe he comes in on a lower price. Maybe for him, he's willing to go somewhere like the Oilers with a little bit less of a deal because the Sabres, they're paying him.
Yeah, and that part of it I get and makes a lot of sense. Now, the player, when you think of the Oilers and what they just went through and how tough it is, the physical grind of it, is Jeff Skinner, in your opinion, as a fan of the team, the right guy to help your team win that Stanley Cup? That's what I would ask people. Smaller, skates very well, can score, but there's times where he goes MIA.
The fascinating to all this is you're looking at the Oilers and going, they got to make those moves to open up that cap space to then go see what they can do. You need to find a way to get rid of Jack Campbell.
Yes.
And then you got to move at least someone else. And then
Could be CC.
fill up those. But that's
someone
CC. What poll did you put up there, Zach?
I put up the poll. Would you like the Oilers to try and get Jeff Skinner? 23 total votes. Just put it up 3 minutes ago. In the Nasty Chat on YouTube, if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, you could check it out on YouTube as well to make your vote. Yes and no. Those are the only two answers that you could give.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple.
It's interesting.
Yes.
It was like 50-50. Where was it?
I see 56 right now. I don't know why I can never see the poll.
You got to click on it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There you go.
Above average, which is YouTube Trev saying the Oilers already have a Skinner. So I guess they're not allowed another, and now he's giggling like a little school kid.
I love Trev. He's amazing. He's just laughing all day today. I thought about that too, because now...
But that they can't have two Skinners?
Well, it would just be J Skinner and S Skinner, right?
You'd have to have something
matter.
like that. I guess maybe actually you won't even need to do that necessarily because one's a goalie. I don't know.
You are off the charts ridiculous today, I have to say. Yeah. Okay.
Did he didn't have anything to say to that?
No, he acknowledged it after taking a swig of whatever he's drinking.
We'll get to the $100,000 hole-in-one qualifying contest right away here. Darren Dreger saying teams are calling the Flames with interest in Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
However, Calgary isn't in teardown. They're trying to reset their roster, and Kadri's a big part of it. He also has a no move, and he likes Calgary.
Yeah. Okay.
This is why GMs they mess up with themselves. Stop giving away no trade clauses. Stop giving away no move clauses.
Way too many are given
Way
out.
too many.
Way
And
too
I
many.
think last season, if I look correctly, in the NBA, there was one player, and I forgot who it was. Wasn't even a top player that you would think. I think it was Bradley Beal with the Suns.
All right, then.
That's it.
Okay.
And in hockey, they give it to everyone. Players with no trade clauses was Bradley Beal last year. That was it. Not LeBron, not Kevin Durant, not Steph Curry. It was Bradley Beal of the Suns.
Of
And in
course it
hockey,
was.
everyone has a no trade clause. Everyone has a no move clause. They give it away too often. I understand that's the way to get the player from somewhere else. But look at then you get your hands tied with everything, and you can't do anything to help fix this. So, did the Calgary Flames need to trade Nazem Kadri? Probably, but you can't.
That was interesting to see. And I know the Huberdeau thing is kind of like the Nurse contract, where it's like an immovable nobody wants it type of thing. But if you're telling me, and I know like Drake's just put it out there, but if you're telling me that Craig Conroy's not taking this down to the studs and he's considering Nazem Kadri to be moved out, like those two don't go together. It's like oil and water. He is stripping this team and he's going to build it the way he wants to build it. He's getting rid of all of what Brad Treliving left him. And they're going to be terrible next season.
Which I saw a report that the Leafs were in on Markstrom, but they were going to make him pay more than anyone else. And I know Leafs fans were all upset, like, oh, it's the Leafs. The Leafs always have to deal with that. And it's like, that's not because it's the Leafs.
No.
Look at who your general manager is. Why would they go make Brad Treliving's job a little bit easier?
Yeah.
They've got Jonathan Huberdeau with a no-move clause, Kadri with a no-move clause. That's $17.5 million right there. Blake Coleman has a modified no-trade clause. Andrei Kuzmenko has a modified no-trade clause. Michael Backlund has a no-move clause.
Mm-hmm.
Mackenzie Weegar has a no-trade clause.
How about
Rasmus Anderson has a modified no-trade clause?
But didn't something pop up the other day where Rasmus Anderson would be okay to move on? I think I saw that somewhere. It's a mess over there. And 2 years ago, they won the Western Conference in the regular season. They're the top team.
Congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers for destroying the franchise of the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, it happened.
Let's get to our $100,000 hole-in-one contest. A qualifying opportunity presented by Golf Town, where trade-in days is on right now. Get a 50% bonus to your trade-in offers. Bring in your clubs. They'll evaluate it. Whatever they deem your value is, they'll give you an additional 50% on top of that to be used towards brand new clubs. Check them out, golftown.com. Or in-store, the final keyword for today here on Edmonton Sports Talk, it's mulligan. Mulligan. Text mulligan to 780-218-9999. Zach needs a lot of mulligans when he's golfing, except it doesn't seem like he takes mulligans because he's shooting 160, 180s.
Oh, you're up to 160.
Yeah, you got
well
to
done.
160.
You're very honest.
167.
All right.
Take some mulligans,
Yeah.
dude. Take some mulligans. No one's going to call you out on if you shoot a 140 with a bunch of mulligans, so don't worry about that. Mulligan to 780-218-9999. You'll go into a draw. Zach to come will draw someone out of all the entries, and then there'll be a big draw Tuesday morning from the 4 qualifiers from today, from tomorrow's qualifier in Hello Hockey and Sunday's qualifier in the VIP Golf Show, and that person will then be the 25th contestant for the hole-in-one contest, which will take place next Wednesday during the morning show. We'll do it live, hopefully, fingers crossed, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. From the 17th hole at the Ranches, 25 people will all have a potential chance to swing for $100,000, and if nobody hits $100,000, the Ranch giving away $1,000 to the closest to the pin.
Oh,
Penner's Pancakes asking us if this is my tip jar on the desk. No, this is my Elks mug.
This is Elks mug.
That is used for 2 hoots. Don't give a hoot, give 2.
Mikey Dufresne. He might have that extra playoff level in his game that literally no one has seen before. Could be a solid player for Dry. Who's that, Doof? Skinner? Talk about Skinner?
What was it? What was it again?
It is, where is it? Here, I had it. He might have that extra playoff level in his game that literally no one has seen before. Could be a solid player for Dry. But who's that in
That's
regard
got to be Jeff Skinner, because we haven't really talked about any other forwards here.
LA GM is making his own deals. La GM. Doof, articulate.
Well, it's not. It can't be Skinner. He's got 0.
Oh, he is talking about Skinner.
He's got no playoff games.
He literally has never played in the playoffs.
I'm just looking. He played for the Kitchener Rangers in 2009-10 and 20 games, hit 33 points.
He's been in the NHL for 14 years.
He's the only player to have 1,000 games played without one
all
playoff
dashes
game
right
played.
there.
Oh, my God.
There is absolutely no playoff experience when it comes to Jeff Skinner. Woo. So that can't be Jeff Skinner there then. That in itself is a reason I wouldn't be bringing Jeff Skinner in, because I don't know what he can do in the playoffs. And I don't need a situation where we're talking about the Oilers. I'm like, wow, Jeff Skinner, like Ryan McLeod or Jordan, great regular season, but couldn't get it done in the playoffs, gets pushed around or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because we literally don't know after all these
played.
years in the National Hockey League. 1,000 games, 1,006 games, never been able to get to the playoffs.
Ugh. That's brutal. That is actually brutal.
Yeah. Like
Do you want that?
you leave Carolina right as they're about to start getting to the playoffs.
You go to
Buffalo with the hope that this is going to be a team that's going to be making the playoffs. They should have been up. Like a lot of people thought they're going to be a playoff team a number of times, and they just can't get it done.
I saw somebody ask about Cam Atkinson.
Yes, because today the Daniel Briere announced that they're buying him out.
What's the asking? What would Atkinson want? And he's not the Atkinson that we saw put up big numbers in Columbus.
No, there's a reason he's getting bought out.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I also say, though, in all buyouts. There's a reason the player's being bought out. There's a reason the team is saying, we're paying for this player to go away. And we will take that extra cap hit. And that's always a concern I have when it looked like, yeah, you could sit there and look at Jeff Skinner and be like, look what he could do. But why is Buffalo buying him out fully?
Buffalo's full of oddities right now.
Well, but it's also that the play hasn't been there. Now,
Yeah.
maybe it's the price tag was just too high for them with that one, but I don't know. I'm always a little skeptical when I look at the buyout player.
Duchesne was a good one.
Yeah,
That
I'd be
was a
actually
great
very
pickup.
fascinated to see what the history is of and success rate is of buyout players who've been bought out. What they do with their next team, and did they do better? Did they do the same or did they do worse? I'd be very fascinated to see those numbers.
Okay, let's think of like close to. Okay, so Duchesne we saw with Dallas. He had a very strong year, good bounce back year. James Neal went to St. Louis after his buyout, played in the farm. That was the last Oilers buyout. Benoit Pouliot out of here played 1 year in Buffalo and then was done. Andre Sekera out of here went and played in Dallas for a couple of years, and then after his contract was, I think he played 2 or 3 years, and that was it. No more NHL for Reggie. Who else has been bought out in recent years that has latched on somewhere? We're watching Ryan Suter get bought out. Zach Parise went back to finish up the year in Colorado. He is done. Who am I missing? Like, who are recent buyouts that have actually like gone back and played for a team? I think I listed the notable ones. What do you think?
I'm trying to see if I can find the best NHL buyout players. That's all just candidates.
Doof, yeah, I just talked about Parise, Doof.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna guess that more often than not they don't pan out. That's just a gut guess.
Yeah.
So, Jeff Skinner, yeah, maybe Raider Jesse in the Paris Jewelers inbox saying he's a target number 1 bargain bin for me. I guess that's what it would have to come down to. Is he going to come for cheap?
He's making his money anyway.
But that's the one. Is he willing to come for cheap? But less than even, because I think the Oilers, they need to go find some guys sometimes that are even a little less than market. They need someone that's willing to want to play a little less here because you have a chance at a cup here. Or as Dustin Nilsson says, they're going to win the cup next year.
Dusty
So
stands by. He texted us today.
You're signing on with the team that's going to win the cup. Do you want that, or do you want to sign somewhere else and watch the Oilers win the Stanley Cup based on Dustin Nilsson? Who did he text today?
He texted us, group chat.
Did he?
Yeah. Where does Patrick Kane go, by the way? That's interesting.
I never got a text from Dusty today.
Sent it to the group.
That was last night, the last text I got.
Oh, I didn't get it till this morning. It's weird.
The timeout?
No.
Wow, I guess there might be a group chat that I'm not part of.
You are in it.
What was his text?
As I just told Marshall, Florida lost last year, and look what happened. They will be back, Trev. Unless
that was an old text.
Why does my phone do that?
I have no idea. When did that one come?
It came in today at 11:35 on my phone.
Yeah, no, that came out a bit ago, I feel like.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's your phone got that one late. Because why would he text that? He's not even with Marshall.
I know. Bye, Trevor.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Have a great weekend.
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
You won't. He's on location. Tommy's at local tomorrow. Check him out. Him and Belsey. Hello Hockey. How is their brunch?
It's amazing.
I've never gone there for brunch. I love going to local. I love their shuffleboard. Rima and I were there a few weeks ago. We played even some lawn bowling. I love going to local. They have a great patio too.
Yes.
But I've never actually had their brunch.
The brisket hash is delicious. If you don't want to go that heavy, I suggest the eggs Benny. And then if you want a very good breakfast sandwich, get their breakfast sandwich. I think they use a hamburger patty. No? Yes, it is. It's a hamburger patty, avocado, egg. You'll be full until dinner. It's that good. Very, very good. And I'm looking forward to being on location there tomorrow.
Oh, on locations are fun at bars.
Yeah, it is. How did it go yesterday at Century?
It's great. It's always great
good.
at Century Casino
Yeah.
Sports Bar and Lounge. The jalapeno and cheese smoky is delicious. Hits the spot. Troy had the smoked brisket cheesesteak, which is the special on Thursdays. When we're back for July 14th, the daily special is surf and turf, which I'm very excited for. What's great about this is when Eric's been there for the NFL season, Monday and Thursdays was the same.
Yeah.
Right, which there's nothing wrong with that. But now me and Jay, there are Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. It's a mix of those 4 days.
Variety.
So we get to try some of the different daily specials that we didn't do during Monday and Thursdays last year. So
Right.
Saturday's prime rib sandwich, which I had that last week. It's great. Friday's quesadillas. And again, there's the game day special of the cheese and jalapeno smoky. Plus, you can get 6 o'clocker in can.
Boom. That is a deadly.
And they've got all the TVs. And I think that they're the best spot in Edmonton when it comes to TVs. Because it's
It
even
is
like
great.
they're all next to each other. So
Yes.
it's not like you're watching multiple TVs in different spots. They're all connected to each other so you could watch everything and focus on everything at once. Like last week, me and Jay and Troy were focused on the Elks game, but also on the Sportsman show where they were killing ducks. And they like filmed the absolute gruesome shots and like the kill shot. It was
Super slow-mo.
Super slow-mo. It was wild. And then they got to a coyote thing, and it was just like, how is this on TV right now?
Well, coyotes are pests. We have to establish.
Still, I think
most
after
people
you watch
understand
that, I think
yeah.
after you watch that show, you're not going to think that they're pests. You're just going to feel bad for them. It was a wild show. Yesterday I got Jays in 6 or Jays in 30 on a loop on one of the TVs, which sucked because
that does suck.
they beat the Yankees 9-2. So I had to watch the Jays beating the Yankees 9-2 multiple times.
Not a Jays fan.
I got some
big Yankees
breaking
guy
news.
over here.
I got some breaking news.
Lay it on me, brother.
Florida Panthers have the parade route. It's available on Sunday. What a late parade.
Whatever.
Starts at
Anybody gonna
11,
show up?
ceremony at 1. Arrive early as the event roads close at 8:30. Water, taxi, carpool, Uber, Lyft strongly encouraged. The parade, it's coming this Sunday.
Parade would have been
We're going to be watching that. We're going to be seeing scenes like we saw last year in Vegas.
not
It's
a
going to
chance.
be loaded. It's going to be packed.
Not a chance.
It's all happening on the beach. It's going to be glorious.
The parade here would have been the Ledge to Rogers, right?
That's what we were hearing.
Yeah.
I'm still fascinated by what it was going to be and how it was going to all take place.
It would have to
It wouldn't have been
snake
big enough.
through Jasper.
I don't even think Rogers is big.
Too small.
And you couldn't do Commonwealth because they have an event going on right now.
That's right.
They need to figure that out for next year because if Dusty's right, they need a better spot for the parade.
Yes, they do. Because like you saw at what's the park? Lincoln? Is it Lincoln Park in Chicago? I believe they did it there.
You know better than me.
It was amazing. It was phenomenal. And then, yeah, there's been some like huge gatherings, like 500,000 people. Vegas is
insane.
amazing. You take it down the strip to the plaza at T-Mobile. People can congregate there. Yeah, I think they'd have to come up with something better here. Unless you just pack the Ledge grounds and build a massive stage and screens.
I don't think that's
everywhere.
enough people.
You could fit a lot of people at the Ledge grounds.
Yeah,
it is huge.
You need. I want to say you need 100 plus.
I think you could get 100
I don't think you can do it at that ledge ground 100.
with the Federal Building Plaza.
I don't think that's big enough.
The one that's under construction right in front of the grounds, the South Lawn, East West. They took down that old annex building. I think you could do it there. You'd have to put screens everywhere and then a stage somewhere.
Wait, which part of south of the ledge
You
or
could do
north
it
of it?
all around the ledge.
No, but not everyone's there. That's the thing. And
Yeah, but not everybody can see everything. When you have 100,000 plus people, not everybody's going to see the stage. That's why you put screens everywhere.
well, that's where I would like almost even just you could shut down the whole city blocks around Ice District and put up screens all over the place too.
Yeah, but we know they don't do that. We live like a
don't
half
know.
block away.
You
And they
think
don't do
like
anything.
100,000 people could fit there?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe I'm off on that.
That is a monster portion of land. Absolutely.
Well,
Rob says Kinsman. Louis says Horlack, but Horlack's under reconstruction.
it's
right
still
now.
under construction. I
Yeah.
don't know if it'd be ready. Kingsman's too small. Like that's smaller than the ledge grounds. So I don't think you could do it there. That's just something they're gonna I think just have to figure it out. Hey, look, if you're looking for positives, we weren't ready for a parade here at Edmonton. That's the reason. The Oilers just weren't ready. That's what happened. So they got to win it next year because we could be a little more focused on figuring out the proper spot for the parade. Because although Florida's going to be fascinating to watch, it's going to be loaded.
Jody says the old airport by Nate. Tons of that is a huge gathering spot. Not far from downtown, right up 109th from the arena.
But it's all under construction or being torn up. Like, you can't do that.
My aunt lives in Blatchford now.
You almost have to take it. Where's Big Valley done? Go to Big Valley.
Oh no!
Just go to the location.
It's
just a massive piece of land.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to just go to town and make it a big festival thing. We'll have a 3-day long Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup festival.
That's too much.
Everyone could.
People would
camp
need
and do all of that, and we'll just have a big Oilers Stanley Cup festival that'll take place next year. Great Outdoors Comedy Festival qualifying opportunity for a VIP table for 4 on Sunday, July 14th. Bert Kreischer, Whitney Cummings, they are the headliners. If you want to get into a draw for that, which we're going to give away on Friday, text us right now. Weekend. No. Canada Day.
Oh,
let's switch it to Canada Day. Text us Canada. You text the Canada emoji if you can. Anything Canada related. Text a maple leaf. Something Canada.
A beaver.
Sure. Why not? Text that to 780-218-9999. You'll go into a draw to be one of the contestants who in the draw next Friday as we give away that final VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Draft tonight, free agency on Monday, 10 o'clock. Myself and Zach will be on the air with Edmonton Sports Talk talking to a bunch of you guys. What do you think we might see from the Oilers by then?
Not a lot.
If you have to guess.
Not a lot. I just texted a few people, and they're like, there's nothing cooking right now. It's quiet. So... enjoy pick number 64, Oilers fans.
Trade back.
Okay.
Add another pick. Add another pick next year. Trade back. Why not?
Spency 5 cents. He says the Shanks parking lot is open.
Shanks could probably fit it in.
Oh,
Somehow they fit in everyone. We could all just do it at Shanks. Maybe that's why it hasn't been touched, is the Oilers have claim on that for their parade. Tommy, great job. Have a great Canada Day weekend.
That's a lot of fun.
Zach, excellent job behind the camera over there. It's not on the other side of the glass over here, but on the other side of the camera. And thanks to you, everyone, for tuning in today. Enjoy your Canada Day long weekend. Up tomorrow at 10 o'clock, it is Hello Hockey. On Sunday at 8 o'clock, it is the VIP Golf Show with Murray and Curtis. 10 o'clock, myself and Zach will be on for a little bit to talk a little bit of free agency. And then live programming, Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev. Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We got a live stream, or replay, I should say, of the Nielsen Show coming up next on the audio stream. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Have a great Canada Day long weekend. Bye now.